Are you ready for part 2? 3 reasons why most people do things that they hate. And if you're one of them, this message is definitely for you. You are the one that I am talking to. This message is for you. Dolores Jones, your comeback coach, is here, showing you how to bounce back better, not bitter. Make it a different year. Make it a better year. Live a life that you've dreamed about, a life that you want. Basically, the choices and decisions that you have made thus far are pretty much the reason you're at where you're at. But we're going to talk about these 3 reasons. And then I'm going to give you a strategy on what you can do about it so that you can start to live a life that you deserve, so that you can really come out of hiding and leave a job that you're dying on, right? So 3 reasons why most people do things they hate. Number 1, they're afraid. They're afraid to do anything different. It's called fear. False evidence appearing real. But as I said earlier, fear is a state of mind that you can change. You need information. Some may have heard it that fear comes by hearing, and it does. Your fear, not fear, faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. Now, what you choose to believe in is going to be based upon what you can choose to be a part of, what you take in. What you believe in is what you take in. That's the best way to say it. Hearing. Are you hearing the right things to strengthen yourself, to develop your mindset in such a way that when you see something that you know you want, you are willing to go and get it? At least attempt it. Some people won't even try. It could be right at your front door. Open the door. I'm here. I'm opportunity. I'm here. I'm waiting for you. It's at the door. Yes, open the door. No. Why? Because I haven't done anything else, which takes me to number 2. The other reason that most people do things that they hate is they don't see themselves doing anything differently. In other words, it's called a limited vision. A vision is an idea of what you're going to do. A vision is an idea of what you want. And once you know what your vision is, then you can say, okay, let me develop goals and strategies to reach the vision. A lot of people say, I need a goal. Well, what do you need the goal for? Well, you have a vision. You want to complete school. You go back and you get your credit together. Why? You want to buy a house. So in other words, you become intentional. And there are things that you are intentional about. Like I just stopped and got me a McDonald's McGriddle. I haven't had one in a long time, but I was intent. I said, I'm going to go over there and get one of these sandwiches. And then I'm going to finish up my water. I now have my big old motivational water bottle. So I said, see, I intended to do it. But I've seen some, because of the water intake and eating 1 meal a day, I felt like I could afford to do that today, right? But if I continue to do that and I tell you that I'm trying to lose weight and I want to be healthy and I keep stopping and getting the McGriddle sandwich, you say, that girl, she playing. Because there is no possible way that you're going to continue to eat things that harm your body and say that you want to be healthy. Let's just be real. The devil didn't make me do it. I did it. And it was so good, honey. I can't wait to finish it. But come on back to the reasons. So number 1 is you're afraid. It's called fear. Zig Ziglar said we have 2 ways to look at fear. Fear is you can face everything and run, or you can face everything and rise. Rise to the top. We used to say, cream rises to the top. How about you take those bricks that were thrown at you and those, they become stepping stones, taking you higher and higher to another level. If you're comfortable, you should start chilling. But when things are uncomfortable, now you got to start thinking. And sometimes life happens to those of us that don't want to bust a move. I was content years ago having a job at a bookstore making $150 a week. Why? Because I was in a state of crisis. And $150 a week looks good when you have nothing. But what I had forgotten about is that I did a commercial, 30-second commercial, and I earned $9,000. Now that payment was delayed because they couldn't find me. So I could have taken the same energy and kept doing these auditions, but I was so hooked on that 150 at the bookstore. But then sometimes God allows some people to come and call you out, like it was during the seasonal workers at Christmas. Thank you for coming in, Barnes & Noble. Have yourself a wonderful Merry Christmas. The lady stops and she turns around and she looks at me and she points at me. She says, God said you're supposed to be on television. I never discussed my dream, nothing. It's on you. And some of us don't want to acknowledge it, but no matter what you do, it's still on you. So did I take that and pursue that? Nope. I went ahead and said, Lord, I'm going to use my master's degree. I'm going to go ahead and accept this job for $60 grand, working as a director of social services for a retirement home. Sound good to me? We talking about $60,000. Do you know what I could do with $60,000? But I wasn't fulfilled. I was just marking time. And every day I would go to work and I would walk down a hall. And on one side, I would look to see who died. And I would look to see who was new. Because I worked mostly on the skilled nursing side. That means the nursing home where people are coming to get better or they're coming to die. And so as I was walking down the hall one day, I said, God, yeah, you know I'm grateful for this position and this money, but am I really going to do this for 5 years? Because some people stay on their jobs and you think something's wrong with you. But you don't know that sometimes those people are staying there because that's all they want to do, or they're afraid to do anything else. I was talking to one of my favorite cousins named Kim, and Kim has been with AT&T for a long time, which is a great job. It served her family. But I thought something was wrong with me because every time she looked up, I was doing something different. I said, Kim, what's wrong with me? She said, there's nothing wrong with you, Dee Dee. You just have a different path. And that's just the truth. Sometimes you didn't do anything wrong. You just have a different path. And you have to be willing to, to strengthen yourself and make it happen. Sometimes we choose careers that are seasonal. They're up and down. Just think about the people who are, making movies or people doing various things that it's seasonal. It's for a period of time. And so you got to know how to manage your money right. You got to know how to go for another audition. What is your reason that you're still doing something that you hate? There was a company, a telecommunication company, and they knew that they were going to have to downsize. They knew that the budget and just the way business was going, they were going to have to downsize. So they brought the employees into a conference and they said, listen, at this time, we are willing to offer you $300,000 as a buyout. If you don't take it today, all you will have is your severance pay. In other words, they told them the day is coming and we want to give you the opportunity to bank $300,000. But if you decide you don't want it, you can stay until we close and all you're going to get is your severance pay. 50% of the people took it and the other 50% stayed. Why do you think the other 50% stayed? Because that's what they were accustomed to. And they felt like, well, who am I outside of this job? Job is what you do. It's not who you are. I mean, if I leave this position, nobody's going to hire me. Look, I'm 60 years old. Who's going to hire a 60-year-old person? And people say that. I've heard it. I've heard it all before. I've thought about it. Who's going to hire me? I'm used to making this much an hour. $30 an hour, $40 an hour. We're in a recession. Who's going to hire me? Well, I found somebody who would hire me for that. But it took time. What's your plan? Girl, I'm going to stay on this job right now and honey, until they fire me. And some people say, I'm going to stay on this job till they bury me. And they mean that. And some people die on their jobs. And some people don't even notice. There was a woman who was working real, real hard. I think her name was Paula. And somebody called and said, Paula didn't come home last night. People got to the job. Paula was dead, sitting there in the chair, dead. Nobody noticed. Don't you want to do something where you're noticed, where you're appreciated and not tolerated? Well, sometimes you got to learn to do that on your own. This whole pandemic has leveled the playing field for a lot of us. What I mean by that is, for some of us, we were marking time, or we were feeling discouraged because the people that we know are making more money than we were. They were a lot further along. But when that pandemic hit, millions, is that 200 million, 200? I don't want to misquote it, but we're talking about over 20 million people lost their jobs. And unfortunately, more of them are going to lose their jobs. So now is the time to really sit there and go, okay, wait a minute. What did I really want to do? Because what I was doing, I can't do anymore because it's gone. And so even if you didn't want to change, now you have to change. And that's when they say life happens to you. It forces you out. It's like the bird who has to force the baby bird out. How does it do it? It makes the nest uncomfortable. Starts to remove pieces of the nest, and the little pins start to stick the bird. Now, there are times mama bird knows, baby, you got to go. But what mama bird is not going to allow the bird to do is to crash and burn, because they swoop under them and pick them back up. You got to spread your wings. I don't want to do that anymore. It's not about what you want now, baby. It's about what you must do. And be willing to be uncomfortable. We're talking about the 3 reasons most people do things that they hate. Number 1 is they are afraid. Just absolutely afraid. Afraid. Some fears are learned fears, but we're only born with 2 fears. The fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. All these others, you were taught, you picked them up along the way. Maybe the fear of rejection is getting in your way. I don't want to hear the word no. Baby, you're going to hear the no. You're going to hear no, but you're also going to hear yeses. You're also going to hear things like, where you been? We've been looking for you. Well, I was just marking time. Some people become what they call professional school. They go to school forever. You can be a lifelong learner, but there's a point where you're going to have to do something with what you know. And I'm preaching to you like I'm preaching to myself, because I read all the time. I take notes all the time. I have journal upon journal, notebook upon notebook. And it's like, okay, Dolores, you got to produce a video or something, honey. Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, it sounds good, but you're just keeping it to yourself. What is it? Well, honestly, I stopped trusting myself. Can anybody relate to that? I stopped trusting myself, and I really didn't know that. I stopped trusting myself after 2 failed marriages and selling my house. See, when you see things working out, it's easier to trust yourself. But when you find yourself making a choice that flips your life upside down, how do you bounce back from that? And that's what I do. I just said, you know what? I got to start somewhere. But I had to acknowledge it. Dolores, you stopped trusting yourself. I did? Yeah. You stopped trusting yourself, and you stopped believing that you could do it. Proof is you can do it because you've done it before. You did it when you were homeless. You've done this. You've done it so well that you were accepted to the #1 journalism school in the nation at the time. You did it so well that you were included in a book called Come On People, on the Path from Victim to Victor. You did it so well that Oprah Winfrey invited you to her show and stood you center stage with her. You did it so well that Bill Cosby took notice of you. Now, he could have decided to pick anybody else's story, but no, he decided to highlight yours, Dolores. Right, professional student. I was like, wow. You did it so well, Dolores, that you went from the Poe House to the presidential suite. You did it so well, Dolores, that people were calling you saying, I just want to know who you are. And then you ran into somebody and it didn't turn out well. But it's like if I take a $20 bill and I tear it in half, does it lose its value? No, you just have to tape it back up. If I take a $20 bill and I stump on it, I stump on that thing. I stump it and I crumble it, I ball it up and I toss it. Does it lose its value? No. What if I take a corner of it off? No. What if I get it wet? It's still $20. They'll just have to let it dry out. Okay, what if I put it in the trash can and it has ice cream on top of it? It's still $20 if you go clean it up. What are you saying, Dolores? You still have your worth no matter what you've gone through. We have to remember that. You still have your value. That $20 bill is going to be worth $20, even if you put lipstick on it, if you spill coffee on it, if somebody finds it in the mud. It's still worth $20. And you are still worth fighting for. And your dream is still worth fighting for. And I know sometimes, some guy was referring to one of my friends as damaged goods because she got divorced. And I said, don't you ever say that about my friend again. She's damaged goods. Excuse me? Somebody's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. So what? They're not going to like you. There are people who are smiling in your face right now and they really don't like you. They just want to get close to you. They want to get close enough to you to ride on your tail. You ever have people want to associate with you so they can say, I know who Trish is. That's my girl. And you're like, she is? People come up to you. Trish, I met Stephanie and she said she's your girl. And Trish goes, Stephanie who? Because people want to be known. People want to associate with winners. But you yourself are a winner. You yourself are a champion. So once you look at one of these reasons, you get to decide, I can have reasons or I can produce results. That's what this is about. If you're afraid, you got to do it afraid. Do it afraid. I was so afraid of the tall slide going into the water. And I was watching everybody go up those stairs and they were sliding down in the water and they were like, wee! And I was over in the wading pool with the kids. Because I'm still really trying to learn how to swim. But y'all know black women, don't be messing with our hair. If it's going to mess up my hair, I'm not doing it. So anyway, I got to get past that. But I'm sitting there and I'm hearing them and I'm watching them laugh and giggle and I'm seeing the water splash. And I said, this is it. This is it. I'm going up there. And I'm going to go down that slide. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired and not having fun with everybody else because I'm afraid to slide down into that water. And I got up there. Closed my eyes. I think I even held my nose or something. And I laid back and I let it rip. And it was great. So I did it again and again and again and again. I did it afraid. I saw myself being able to do it. That's powerful. It's called vision. Your mind sight. The battlefield of your mind is you trying to convince yourself that you can do what you know you're supposed to do, what God has equipped you to do. And maybe it didn't work out that time. Maybe you bombed completely. Kobe Bryant in the NBA had the highest number of missed shots. Yes. But they're still talking about Mamba, aren't they? But in order to have that number of missed shots, that means he's had to take that many. Some of us we just sit on the sideline. Girl, give me that popcorn. I want you to think about that. Dolores Jones, your comeback coach, is my name. I'm here to show you how to bounce back better, not bitter, through life experiences and bad decisions. Would you like and share my video, please? I would really appreciate it. And then take time to subscribe to Dolores Jones TV. Facebook is in the house, as well as Instagram and you. If you're new to the channel, I'm very happy to have you. I hope you'll come back again and enjoy yourself, all right? We're talking about the 3 reasons most people continue to do things they hate. They're afraid, limited vision. They can't see themselves doing it. And number 3 is low self-esteem. You don't believe you can do it. See, self-esteem is about being confident in your abilities. Confident, fulfilled. Oh, I got that. I'm confident as a dancer, honey. Oh, I slay all day as a dancer. Come on, Jones, you want a 2-step girl? Come on, line dance. I'm your girl. Dolores, you want to, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. And sometimes it's because you don't think you can do that. So be honest with yourself. I heard Les Brown say, And that started laughing. He said, you could call on Jesus and he will answer prayer. But you're going to still have to do something. You know, so I'm saying, I'm going to wait on the Lord. Wait and be of good courage. But the word wait in Greek means to serve. It doesn't mean to literally sit down and wait. But you know, I'm waiting on Jesus. Where's he coming? Is he coming in a helicopter? He's coming. I'm waiting on Jesus. You need to understand why you're doing what you're doing. And is it going to produce what it is you want it to produce? I'm waiting on Jesus. I'm waiting on Prince Charming. It would be nice to think that there's somebody that's going to love you so well that he's going to find you. He's going to put you up in a castle and everything's going to be grand. You get to just, you know, wear fur and you have somebody serving you and you have a little bell. Ding, 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 ding. It's time for dinner. Ding, 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 ding. It's time to listen. And maybe one day, if you work hard, that'll happen. But in a lot of cases, it's not happening. It's called delusional. From a social work perspective, when a person says that they're delusional, when someone said that person is delusional, that means they have faulty beliefs, that what they believe is happening really isn't happening. Now, a hallucination is a person will see something. You may hear something that's not there. But a delusion is really, really dangerous because you keep believing things that aren't true to the point where you'll kill somebody. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Recently on the news, and it was sad, it was a young minister in another state. He had left a job and started a new job at a new company. He was very excited. He had family, he had a wife, he was a minister at a church. Life was good. He went to a new job, and there was a man, an employee, who had mental health problems. One day the man goes to work. The employee, who is definitely delusional, he said he got a bad vibe about the minister. So he shot and killed him. Right there on the job. Yes, he did. And now he's in prison. But unfortunately, that man is dead because of somebody's delusion, mental health. Listen, part of the reason some of us don't do things too is we need to make sure we're mentally sound and grounded. Make sure that you're mentally sound and grounded. Look at the relationships, the people you spend your time with. Are you becoming better or are you bitter? Are you telling the same old story, same old story? Why don't you think you deserve to get better, do better, have more? Money can't buy you happiness. And somebody said, well, it definitely is up there with oxygen. Somebody said, let me have the money and I'll tell you if it does. What are you waiting on? Well, you know, I'm waiting for this person to die on my job because I really want her position. Believe it or not, there are people who are waiting for people to die on the job. When now you can create anything with the internet. There's a young man, he lost it all. And he was trying to get his credit together. And it was hard. Well, he decided, I'm not the only person who has problems with my credit. So he started a credit repair company. In his first year, he made over $100,000. Yes. See, sometimes in the midst of your tragedy or your inconvenience or your issue, there's a blessing. There's a blessing. Another young woman was at a funeral, and she was at the graveyard, and she noticed that a lot of the graves just looked really messy. They just were messy. So she decided that she was going to open up a grave grooming service. It's like right in front of you, but maybe you're like me. Sometimes you don't think it's good enough, or you suffer from a paralysis of analysis. You look at it all different angles, and then you're just like, I don't know, you know. And I'm guilty. Do you know how much money I have left on the table? I don't even want to tell y'all. I don't want to tell you. And part of it is because I've looked at other people's bios and I've said, oh, well, they did that. I don't know. I didn't do that. Well, look what hers says. Oh, okay. And here's the thing. I have the same experience. but it's called packaging and systems. So what I need to do is learn to use systems or get with somebody that can teach me the systems to the success. Well, she's been on here. Dolores, you know how many times you've been on TV? Dolores Jones, are you serious? Yeah. And you're sitting there playing small. Well, I don't want nobody to find out what I used to do. Who cares what you used to do? What are you doing today? And sometimes we're still trying to pay for our past mistakes. Your past isn't done with you. But you can decide to tell your past, this is not open for discussion. And if people come to you to, I heard this and I heard that, well, what does that have to do with you? You got to have clap back. Oh, Sister Dolores, I heard that you was blah, blah, blah. I said, what does my sex life have to do with you? You know why people want to know about your bad stuff? Because they like misery loves company. They want to make sure that if you're bad, they're better. Why else would somebody want to put their foot on your neck? I knew it. I knew you wasn't about nothing. I told y'all she wasn't about nothing. I told you. How you know? Girl, okay, listen. So she had this husband and they just chatter. And then you can make them eat their stuff because you got to keep on pushing. You got to keep on pushing. You got to keep on pushing. That's what makes people stand out. It's not that they were successful. Sometimes it's what you had to go through in order to be where you are. When you really think about the people that you respect, it's not because they were born with a silver spoon. You're looking at somebody like a Les Brown who was born on a hardwood floor with his twin brother, Wesley, and he was adopted by Miss Mamie Brown. And he was told that he was retarded. He was put back from the fifth grade to the fourth grade. And they nicknamed him DT, the dumb twin. And one day, one of his teachers, Mr. Washington, said, young man, go to the board. He said, sir, I can't do that. He said, young man, go to the board and write what I tell you to write. He says, I can't do that. He said, why? He said, I'm not your student. He says, I said, go to the board and write it. He said, I can't, sir. He said, why can't you? He said, because I'm DT. And everybody said, what's DT? He said, I'm the dumb twin. I'm educable, mentally retarded. Mr. Washington came from around the desk and he looked at him and he said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. Don't you ever say that again. People are going to say crazy things to you, but you get to decide what you're going to dwell on. You get to decide what you're going to dwell on. If you dwell on your past and your failures, you will continue to do the things you hate because you don't think you deserve better. We all have a past. I was on probation. I've been on house arrest for 8 months. Y'all, I know it doesn't even add up. But when my attorney tried to put all of my accomplishments together, the prosecutor said, no, we're not going to let her do diversion. We want her to be on probation for 3 years and we want her to, go on a house arrest for 8 months, trying to break my spirit. But I already knew who I was by then. So when they put that old unattractive bracelet on my ankle, baby, I went to Hobby Lobby. I got some material and it was cute. Some chiffon, wrapped it up on Sundays to match my dress, or wrapped it up and put a rose on it when I was just being casual. Even did a speaking engagement while I was on house arrest and unwrapped my cloth up from around it. And the ladies who were business owners and millionaires are like, oh, we know an excon. And I was like, ma'am, I'm not an excon. The whole point was I got to do this. And since I have to be on house arrest and because I have to be on probation, let me look at what I really need to spend my time on. Because see, you can lose money because you can get that back, but you can't lose your time. And so being on house arrest taught me the importance of time. I didn't have time to throw away. Whatever was important to me, I had to get it done. Excuse me. And I had to get it done quickly. Imagine you are on house arrest. What would you do differently? If someone told you, Reggie, you can only be outside for 6 hours. The rest of the day, you have to stay in. What would you do differently that you know would put you further and closer to your dream? I want you to chew on that. I also want you to like and share the video. This is part 2 of a video that I've done called 3 Reasons Most People Are Doing Things They Hate. Fear, limited vision, and low to no self-esteem. But all of those things can be changed. You can start speaking about what's possible. You can develop a different attitude about what's possible. Sometimes you're not going to know the how, but you know it can happen. Why? You saw somebody else do it. But sometimes you have to go through a situation where there is no a path and you need to leave a trail. You open the door for someone else. Cicely Tyson did that. Viola Davis talks about it. And any other Black actress who is who they are knows who Cicely Tyson is. We recently lost her. She died the day after she released her memoir called Just As I Am. Made a she left an imprint in this world. Les Brown wants to ask her, he calls her, I forgot what he calls, okay. Anyway, that was between them. It was very special. But one day he said to her, how did you get into acting? And she said, well, one day I was a typist and they were having a retirement party for one of the employees. And as I was there, they presented that person who had been there for 25 years with a watch. She said she immediately went to her desk and she cleaned it out. And she never looked back. She says she was not going to waste 25 years of her life for a gold watch. So she started in modeling and the rest is history, as they say. But what if she had kept typing? What if she had a limited vision of herself? What if she was afraid to change? What if she didn't believe that she had it? We would have missed out on something wonderful. And I bet you we're missing out on a lot because maybe you don't believe you have it. But I want to just challenge you to do something different. Do what you need to do. Somebody's waiting on you. And maybe they're not in your current circle because your circle is too small. But there is somebody who's willing to listen to you and to appreciate you and to celebrate you because your presence in their life brings a breakthrough. This is the time, and the time is now. Crisis, uncertainty, discouragement, fear, the fear factor. And the one thing that you have accomplished and overcome, somebody doesn't believe they can do it. And unfortunately, somebody feels like this is the end. I'm just going to kill myself. But your faith has propelled you forward. And there's a way that you know how to handle it. When I'm visiting with different people who are going through the grieving process, I'll say to them, where do you get your strength? Because everybody wants something to hold on to. Everybody wants to see just a glimmer of hope. I mean, if you can just see unemployment sometimes gives people a glimmer of hope. A job interview will give some people a glimmer of hope. That hope is, it's possible. It's possible. It's possible I can have my dream. It's possible I can make $1 million. Why? I know other women and I'm now associated with those women and they have steps and strategies because success leaves clues, but you have to follow the clue. When we were kids and we would play a game about hidden treasures. Well, how did you find the hidden treasure? We had to follow the clue. Who are you following? And where is it leading you to? And are you satisfied about it? Are you willing to be uncomfortable temporarily in order to have what it is you really desire? Are you willing to give the car back? I gave back a BMW. I said, this doesn't even make sense. Why would I have a $19,000 car and I don't have $19,000 in my savings? Yeah, somebody said, it looks good on you. It looked good on me, but the timing was wrong. Why don't you buy a car for cash, Dolores? Okay. And all that other money, save it. Now you got this part-time gig. You're going to invest in yourself. You're not just going to go spend it on clothes. You have more clothes than you need. You have more shoes than you need. You don't even wear half the stuff you got. You wear about 20%. They say you wear about 20% of things in your closet. And it is so true, because you know you probably picked up them same pants from yesterday. Come on, somebody. Especially if they black, because black goes with everything. What are you doing? And how long do you plan on doing it? A philosopher named Goethe said, if you look at a man as he is, he becomes worse. But if you look at a man as he could be, he becomes who he should be. There's greatness in you. This message isn't for everybody, but it's for somebody. And if you're that somebody that you know you deserve better, then listen to this video and these words until you get the results. I listen to motivation every single day. Every day. I was up this morning at 5 o'clock. I took a relaxing bath. By 6:30, I'm listening to Les Brown. Why? Because in 1 hour, Les Brown can produce over $150,000. 1 hour. What? I need to know who he is. I need to do what he's doing. Can you imagine that? You wake up one day and while you were sleeping, you generated over $150,000. People are doing it all over the place. Maybe you don't know them, but it's possible. You can get it done. You can make the sacrifice. You can learn. You can teach. You can grow. I ain't got time for that. Okay, I guess you ain't got time for a better life. Because here's the thing. You go back to school and it's going to take you 4 years to graduate. Either in the 4th year, you're going to have a college degree, or you're going to still have the same skill set that you have that's not producing anything. We just don't understand. I'm in this relationship and the person doesn't want me to excel. Oh, wait a minute. What? The person don't want you what? What? He won't let me. Oh, wait a minute. He won't let you what? When did you need permission from an adult to do the things that God put you here to do? When did you need permission? Well, I just feel like, well, you're wrong. Anybody who loves you wants you to be the best version of yourself. They're not going to create obstacles. They're going to help you identify opportunities. And they're going to show up and they're going to support you. They're going to be a cheerleader for you. If nobody else shows up, the people who love you, they're going to show up. Girl, you going? Yeah, I'm going. Why? There's only 6 people. Well, I'm going to be one of the 6 people. Because the word says, don't forsake your humble beginnings. I know that somebody's been touched by this. Please like, share the video. Go ahead and hit the subscription button there on my YouTube channel, Dolores Jones TV. And I hope you'll join me a little later next time. If you hit the notification button, you'll know when I'm on. All right. And I appreciate you for spending your time and your lunch break with me, and go do something good for yourself. Wipe your face. Go wash your face, because I know some of y'all been crying. She knows she's talking to me. Ooh, and some of y'all getting ready to put in your 2-week notice. Well, where are you going to go? I don't know, but I'm going out of here. I'll work a temp agency. I'll work at a temp agency before I commit to 25 years of something that I don't want to do. You do have options. I hope that you find them and utilize them. I see greatness in you. And I know that you can bounce back better, not bitter, through life experiences and bad situations. I'm counting on you to do that, right? Okay. Take care. Enjoy your day.